Welcome to the Weekly Trend Trader Trend Following Weekly Review. And what an interesting week we had this week. So as always, we're going to review the global markets. First, we're going to review the Asian markets, then the European markets, and then the markets in the USA. Before we do that, don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe, to like this particular video so that people can find it and it can help them with their trading journey, to share it with your friends because they too may want to build a trading business, or they might want to generate a part-time income alongside what they're doing, and this form of trading works perfectly with that. Don't forget that notification bell, because it's only by turning on that notification bell that every time we upload a new video to YouTube can let you know and get that time critical information that we're sharing with you about how the banks and the hedge funds trade. So let's get into reviewing the markets. Let's start with the Asian region and let's look here at the Hang Seng. So we like to start by looking at firstly the previous winners. We've had a very interesting week this week on the Hang Seng, but we'll get back to that in a moment. So let's look at the previous winners in 2018. Firstly, with that setup there in September, which ran all the way down there. Beautiful trade, and we took our profits. Then we had the setup where the market made that double bottom at 25,000. Beautiful setup there. Market ran back up off that double bottom reversal pattern. We bought that one at 26,500 and took our profit at 28,500. Lovely little trade. Then if we look at the 52-week moving average, it has been falling for the entire time, the entire 2-year period that we're looking at here. So we were looking at shorts. So look at 2019. We had that situation there late July where we took that lovely little trade. Another one there in September, bouncing off the 50 where we took that trade there. Then move forward to 2020. What's been going on this year? Well, we know we've had the situation with the markets reversing because of COVID-19 and the shutdown of the economy. So we had that set up there at 28,000 in January. That set up nicely for us. We shorted it at 28,000. Lovely little trade, and we took profits at 24,500. Absolutely fantastic trade there. Market drops back there to the swing low. We've got a sort of double bottom between March and May. So it gives us an opportunity, if the Hang Seng is a market that you trade, to maybe have a go at that on the upside. But as it's in a very strong downtrend, most traders would have left that one and let the market do its thing. Market ran up. Now, looking at this week, look at what's happened. We did an absolutely amazing move, got through that falling 52-week EMA, went up to 26,700, and then we spiked there. Look at that pin bar, closed the week back almost where we opened it at 25,600. So the market ran up, pin bar, and then closed back below the 52-week EMA. Very, very key where this market closed. What will happen next week? We're going into earnings season. Will this high test bar, this pin bar that we've seen there, be a signal that the markets are about to reverse? That remains to be seen, and we'll have a look at what happens next week. Let's move over to China. So the Chinese markets have absolutely been on fire the last couple of weeks, but we'll come to that in a minute. Firstly, let's look at what the market's doing. 2018, what happened? We got that set up there in September. Took a nice little short out of that one. Shorted that one and rode that one all the way down to December 2018. Then the market did that double bottom there. Double bottom in October and November 2018. And that rose up all through 2019, from January 2019. Beautiful entry at 22,000 and 25,050. And that rode up all the way until we see the lines cross there at 3,100. What a beautiful trade. Absolutely fantastic. Got a rounding top pattern there. If we look between March and April, we can see that rounding top on the RSI. Look carefully there. There's the rounding top. That told us that this market here was creating a reversal pattern. So we had an opportunity to short this one, shorted at 3,100. We shorted at 3,100, and then we took our profits at 3,000. Nice little trade there. Then look at the 52-week EMA. That's our golden indicator. 52-week EMA has gone to sleep. It's totally flat. There's nothing happening here for us. What's interesting though, what's happened this year in 2020, market's been pretty flat in that trading range. 52-week EMA is flat, so there's nothing for us to do. However, the market last week and this week, remember last week we closed at 3150 and we were looking to see if we could take out that high at 3250. Not only have we took out 3250, but we've blown the socks off the thing. So we went up to 3450 and we spiked there and we closed at about 3400. Very, very interesting where this market has closed. However, do I think that this is the beginning of a new bull market in China? I don't know. However, I go with my indicators and I go with the trend. Have a look at the RSI. The RSI is almost at the 80. The 80 is overbought. Then bear in mind what we saw in Hong Kong. Hong Kong had that huge high test spike, closed below the 52-week moving average. China had a massive run up, but it's closed at its all-time at this high of 3,400, but the RSI is close to the 80. The 80, remember, is overbought. Very, very interesting where the markets are. Next week, when earnings season kicks off, it's going to be an absolutely amazing week. The next couple of weeks are going to be amazing. We'll see some big things in the next 2 weeks. Let's go over to Japan. So here's the Japanese market, 52-week moving average. Straight away we can see that's pretty flat. Nothing going on here for us. What we do notice though, this year, 2020, we did have in March that inverse head and shoulders. There it is there. The head of the shoulders is at the 20 mark, signifying a good buying opportunity as we were very oversold. Bought that one at 19.5 there, just there at beginning of April, and rode that one from the beginning of April until now. What's happened this week? Lines are touching, not quite crossed. We're above the 52-week EMA. Doesn't really matter because it's flat anyway. But we're above the 52-week EMA, but we've got that pin bar. So we've got the Hang Seng pin bar. We've got the Chinese market that's run up, but it's overbought. We've got this market with a pin bar. Lines touching, almost crossed. Could we be about to see profit taken at the very least? If not, a correction back to the downside. That remains to be seen. Very, very interesting what we're seeing on the charts. So that's the Asia region. Let's have a look now at Europe. To begin our look at Europe, let's have a look at the FTSE 100. The FTSE 100 here in the UK. If we look at that one, look at the 52-week moving average, very, very flat until the sell-off that we had in February. But then from that sell-off, we had a lovely little setup. We could see there was some resistance there at 7,600. Touched it a couple times, June, July of 2019, and again at the end of 2019 and into 2020, we touched it again, 7,600, and we came off. There's our indication on the moving averages. Lines cross. We get a lovely entry there. We sell that one. We sell it in January, and we've rode that all the way down to 5,800 and took profit in April. Then in April, some may have had a go at that on the way back up because it was so oversold. You've got an inverse head and shoulders there on the RSI. Market runs back up until this week. Last week, we had that very flat pin bar, doji bar. This week, we've got again indecision. Look at the weekly candle, indecision candle, but closed lower than the week before. Another market below the 52-week moving average. All of Europe except the DAX, which we'll come to in a moment, are below the 52-week moving average. Also, have a look at the RSI. To me, it looks like it could even be double topping off the 50 level on the RSI and turning negative. Very, very exciting next couple of weeks to see exactly what happens with these markets. Let's move over to France. So let's look at the French market here, the CAC 40 in France. Let's look at the previous winners in September 2018. Look at that high test bar, setting up the position there to short it at 5,400. We short that 5,400 and we ride the trend all the way till December, where we take profits at 4,800. There's a rounding bottom pattern there, so we have a go at that one on the other way. We buy that long at that 4,800, reverse the trade, go long and take profits. Lovely little trade, beautiful trade at 5,300. Market drops down, and then in 2019 we've got these bounces: May, August and September. Look at the bounces there. All of those bounces result in a quick winning trade. Lovely little move. Let's go forward to 2020. And 2020, January, December and January, beginning of 2020, we had that double top pattern. Look at the 6,000 level. There was our entry. Double tops are clear as day. We short that one. Market breaks away. And then we ride the trend all the way to 4,500, where we take profits just before the swing high. Market falls back to the swing low at 4,200 there. We get another entry to go long this one at 4,450. Buy that long, and we're still in this one waiting to take profits, if this is one that you trade. But have a look at the current setup. Yet again, we've got this situation where the market is below the 52-week moving average. Not only is it below the 52-week moving average, but we can't take out 5,200, which was the previous high. And this week we ran up to the 52-week EMA, bounced off the 52-week EMA and closed down at 5,000. That's not a sign of bullishness. Look at the RSI. It's been hovering along at the 50 there. Can't seem to make a decisive close above the 50. Below the 50, remember, is a bearish bias, and above the 50 is a bullish bias. So we've still got that bearish bias. The market can't close above either the 52-week EMA or the 50 on the RSI. Let's go over to Germany. So Germany, the biggest economy in Europe. Let's have a look at the previous winners. Firstly, in 2018, September, there's a setup, there's a sell. We take that one and we ride that trend all the way down until the end of December. Take our profit there at 10,600. Again, we've got a bottoming pattern there, so we get a chance to buy that back on the way up. So at 10.6, we're back long, and that was a lovely trade where we exit at 12,000 and bank our profits there. Again, look at May, the rounding bottom in August and September. All of those give us entries there. Nice little trades. And the one that starts in August, pretty much, if you had a tight stop on that one, that ran all the way until the end of the year. That was a lovely little trade. If you ran that one and had a good margin on your stop, you ran till the end of the year, you took profits at 13,000. Then on this one, we look at the German DAX, and I speak a lot about check the region. So what was the region of Europe doing? Most of Europe were double topping here at this point because the economies all were about to shut down because of COVID-19. Can't see a double top on the chart, can't see a clear double top on the RSI. However, when you check the region and look at the rest of Europe, you could see double tops either on the RSI or on the chart, which told us this market is going to reverse. So we took the short there, lovely short, 13.5 shorted that one and took profits at 10.5. 3,000 points on side, beautiful trade. Then if we look, there's an inverse head and shoulders that was clearly seen in March. So by the time you took profits at this one at 10.5, you saw that inverse head and shoulders, you bought that long at 10,500, and you're still currently in the German DAX, the only market in Europe that is above the 52-week EMA. All the rest are not strong enough. Remember, this is the biggest economy in Europe, not strong enough to break through. The buying wasn't strong enough to break through the 52-week EMA. But look where we did close. We closed this week at just below the previous high. Now, unless we break this high this week, and if, like all the other markets, are experiencing resistance below that 52-week EMA, this could well turn into a double top. If we reverse from here and we cannot close higher this week, there will be a clear double top at 12,700, which will be saying, short the market, we're going back down. It's a very, very interesting one to watch and see what happens with the German market and the whole region of Europe as we go through earnings season starting this coming week. So that's Germany. Let's go and look at Spain. The IBEX in Spain, look at the 52-week moving average. It has been falling for the entire time. The 2-week period, 2-year period here, a couple of little pops above there, but really this is really negative. So look at September, lovely. Look at the RSI, lovely clear bounce off the 50. And when we look at the 52-week moving average falling, and we see the setup there in September 2018, take that one short and ride that to the end of the year. Then at October, December, we can see a double bottom there on the RSI. Down in October, down in December, there's the double bottom. There's your entry. We buy that one at 8,700. We take that long and we take profits at 9,400. Lovely little trade. Then the market comes off. There's a little high test there at 9,400. Some would have taken that. Some would have been a little bit cautious just because of where it was in relation to the 52-week moving average. But then we had that one in July 2019. Big high test there. Two previous tests of 9,200 that was rejected from that level. Market sells off and we drop all the way to 8,600. The market runs up, does its run all the way up until the COVID-19 situation. December, January 2020, February 2020, you can see a double top there on the RSI. So you've got two things telling you here, there's something going on. Double top on the RSI, high test bar at 10,000, short that at 10,000, market gaps away, and the market just trends all the way down to 7,000, where we take our profits. Lovely trade, 3,000 points on side. But let's look at what's happened since then. So the market ran up to this swing high at 8,000. Then we've dropped back to the swing low at 7,000. But this market, this week that's just gone, was not able to get anywhere near 8,000. Now, for there to have been any strength here, it would needed to have get above 8,000 and then take out the 52-week moving average, which is falling. Neither of those things were able to happen. In fact, this is a sign of weakness. Can't get above that 8,000 level. 52-week moving average is falling. Closed down lower this week. Below the 50 on the RSI. All these things say to me, this is a major sign of weakness. And what an earnings season this is going to be. As it kicks off and the earnings start to come out, we could see some selling. Let's have a look at the FTSE Movespa. So the FTSE Movespa in Italy, the Italian market, look at September, look at that clean V spike on the RSI in September 2018. There's our previous winners we're looking at there. There's our entry, lovely little trade. We take that one to December of 2018. There we can see a double bottom, October and December. You can see that one clearly. Reverse that one, take that long and take profit at 21,000. Then we get three opportunities now. Market's a bit more bullish. We've got a bounce in May, August, rounding bottom, and that bounce in late September into October. That results in winning trades. Market runs up. That lovely little trade there, that one that we got in October, runs all the way to January, where we take profit. And the market makes a little run up. But in January and February on the RSI, again, we can see that double top on the RSI, high test bar at 25,000, short that market at 25,000, double top and the high test bar tell us to short it. We take that one short, 22,000, and we ride the trend all the way down to 17,500, where we bank our profits. Market then runs up to a swing high of about 18.3, drops back to the swing low at 16.5, and the market makes a run for it again at 17,500, and that is currently still running that trade. Now that trade from 17,500, look at where we stopped. The level that has been a major level of resistance for the FTSE Movespa has been the 20,100. 20,100 has been major resistance. Look at the falling 52-week EMA, 21,500, major resistance level. Falling EMA, look at the RSI, can't get above the 50. We're just bumping along on the 50 on the RSI, can't get above that level there. There's a major problem here. That, if we sell off from here this next week coming when earnings season starts, that will look like a clear double top at 20,000, and it will be sell, sell, sell. A double top at that level, can't break the RSI, the 52-week EMA that's falling, can't break the 50 on the RSI. That's saying, well, there's some further downside here, at least a retest of the lows, if not maybe further. So that's the markets in Europe. Let's move across now to the USA. So we're going to look at the USA now. Just before we do that, don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe. That helps us out a lot. We appreciate the ones who have subscribed. To like this particular video so that it helps the algorithm promote the video to other people and they can benefit from our content. Because what we're doing here is we're helping you to appreciate, and I'm sharing with you my over 20 years of trading experience, and we're teaching people to trade like the banks and the hedge funds trade. This is professional trading, not retail trading. We're trading like professionals. Share it with your friends because they too may want to build a trading business. And this really lends itself, this style of trading. They can run it alongside what they're doing because they don't even have to check the market on a Friday. So let's carry on with the evaluation of the markets in the USA. So here's the Dow. Let's again look at the previous winners like we like to do firstly. Look at 2018 September. We've got that market almost running up to the 80 on the RSI. And if you look there, there's that red high test candle. Beautiful setup. The high test candle there telling us that we're going down. The lines cross there. We short that market there. We ride that all the way down to December at the swing low. When the market does the lows there, we can clearly see October, November, December, a triple bottom is in place. Very clear sign telling us to go the other way. We buy that one there. We're long at 22.5 and we take profits at 26,000. Beautiful trade. And then we've got that situation where we've got setups for us in May, August and October, where we've got that bouncing off the 50. In fact, August and October, if you got in August and you didn't get stopped out because your stop was correctly set, you rode that one all the way to the end of the year. Absolutely beautiful trade. Took profit there in January 2020 of this year. There, clearly seen 29,500. There's a double top in place. We can see that there. We shorted at 29,000. Market drops away. It's the COVID situation and the shutdown of all of the economies. But the Dow drops away and we take our profit at 23,700. Lovely trade. But by the time we exit in that trade, we notice in March this year that there's an inverse head and shoulders on the RSI. So 23,500, the inverse head and shoulders, very, very clear to see. Buy that long at 23.5, and we're still currently in this trade. Either you took profits at 25,000 or you're still in at 26.5 because the sell signal there, for some that was very clear, for some it wasn't too clear, and they're still in this market. However, let's have a look at what the market's doing. 27.5 was the previous high. What has the market done in the last 4 weeks? It's just traded sideways between 25,000 and 26,000. It's in a trading range. It cannot get anywhere near 27.5. Sign of weakness. Then if we look at the RSI, it's bouncing around the 50. It's not really going anywhere. Now, every time the market has made some highs around the 26,100, 200 and 300 levels, the market sold off. Even this week, we got up to those levels and we sold back and closed at 26,000. So what happens when the earnings season comes out this week? It'll be very, very interesting to see how the market reacts to earnings season, because at the moment it's looking as though it's a little bit weak. It could try to push the upside on some great earnings, but it could just get to 27.5 and that could act as a resistance level. Or if the earnings aren't that great, which we're not expecting great earnings, the market could start to fall back from here and we will see some serious profit taking. So have a look at the S&P 500. Again, the most watched market in America. Let's look at the previous winners as we love to do. 2018, look at the strategy, how well it works. 2018, September 2018, there's a double top on the RSI. There's the sell at 2,900. We sell it at 2,900 and ride the trend all the way down to December and exit that one at 2,500 or about 2,550. Beautiful trade. But then we can see that triple bottom in place. The December low is a little bit skew-if, but we can see a triple bottom. We reverse that one, take that long, buy the market there and close the trade at 2,900. Lovely little trade. Then we've got that situation where we've got May, August and October bouncing off the 50. In fact, if you got in August and you set your stops correctly, you should have been able to ride that to the end of the year. Then at the end of the year, remember I always say, check the region. Check the region. What is the region of the USA doing? Because if we look at the S&P 500, there's no double top on the chart in January and February. If we look at the RSI, there's no double top on the chart. However, go look at the Dow, double top on the chart. Go look at the Nasdaq, double top on the RSI. So if both these markets, by checking the region, have got double tops on them, tells us the S&P 500 is also going to sell. When they sell, we sell it at 3,300, market drops away, COVID situation, take profits, 2,800. Then in March, we can clearly see, as we take profits, there's an inverse head and shoulders with the head of the head and shoulders at the oversold 20 level. So we buy that long at 2,800, beautiful trade, bought it long at 2,800, we're still going at 3,200. So we went to 3,200, we fell back to the swing low of 3,000, we're going back to 3,200 again. Can we go that little bit higher on the S&P 500 or are we running out of steam? That remains to be seen. That's the big thing that we're going to check for as we go into earnings season this week. It's been an absolutely amazing run percentage-wise from the March lows to where we are now. I wouldn't be surprised as the earnings come out, either we push that a little bit higher for maybe another week or so, or the profit taking starts in earnings season. So an exciting week ahead of us as we continue to monitor the trend on this market and the run up that the American markets particularly have had. So let's look at the Nasdaq. So here's the Nasdaq. Again, let's look at the previous winners. Look at that situation in late August, early September. Market goes up to the 80 on the RSI. Then in September, we can see those two red candles like towers. They're signaling to us there's a problem. They're high testing. They're testing the high and they both collapse, giving us a great sell at 7,800. So we show the market there. Market falls away all the way to December and we take profits at 6,600. Lovely little trade. Then look at the situation that we've got. We've got a triple bottom in place telling us to reverse this one, go the other way and take this one long. We take it long and the market runs up to 8,400 as the high, drops back to 8,000 and 8,200. Sorry, we drop back to 8,200 and we take our profits there. And we got that situation May, August and October, or late September. Look at the situation, look at those bounces, lovely trade. We bought that in August, sit tight, ride the trend all the way up until January 2020. January and February, we can clearly see double top on the RSI, high test bar at 9,600, market collapses away, and we take our profits at 8,200. Absolutely phenomenal trade. Come March this year, the inverse head and shoulders is clearly discernible. So the inverse head and shoulders there told us to reverse this one, buy it long at 8,200, and what an absolutely amazing trade the Nasdaq has done from 8,200 all the way currently to 10,600. The Nasdaq almost looks unstoppable, but it's when it looks unstoppable that we get the reversal. When everyone thinks that it's going to keep going higher, that's when the reversal comes in. So we're at 10,600. The market does like to reverse at round numbers. So 10,600, look at the RSI. The RSI is heading to the 80 level. We could go one more week on the Nasdaq perhaps. Then the RSI will be at the very overbought level of the 80. Or it could be that the earnings that come out now are just overwhelming for the market, and people who have gone along, traders have gone along there, they like to take their profits and just come out, and we'll see some selling from that level. So very, very interesting week. Hope that you've enjoyed what we've put together here and the very, very interesting point that we're at with the markets. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment. We want to hear how you're getting on with the strategy, what you see in the strategy, the benefits of the strategy if you're running it alongside other things that you're doing, because you can do this and run a job. Also, if there's been things that I've talked about today that you haven't understood, perhaps I've talked about swing high, swing low, low test bar, high test bar. I've talked about, inverse head and shoulders, triple bottoms, double tops and stuff like that. You might not understand that. No problem. Go and watch the strategy video. So we have a trend following strategy video. Watch that one, and that will clear up a lot of things for you, just so that you get that little bit more understanding and you can benefit from that. I'll link it in here right at the end of what we're talking about now, so that you can just click on it and you can watch that video. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much for the subscribers. Look forward to this exciting week with earnings season, and we'll see you next week.